Ta-da! I am alive. I am live. Greetings, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. You are so amazing and so appreciated. Thank you so much for all your love and your sharing and your prayers and holding me so tightly. I really felt you very much. It's been a long while and it's almost feeling like I've got to get back on the horse again. It's kind of difficult. So I'm kind of back. I'm not sure for how long. I think we're all going through this crazy into the eye of the hurricane, the last. Hello, Trista, my love. Hello, Heaney, my beautiful and beautiful Mr. Wonderful Victor. Thank you so much for your steadfastness and your groundedness. I know you're not grounded, but you're very grounded. So yeah. So yeah, it's been a while. It's been a very heavy time for me. I don't want to go into too much. Oh, thank you so much, Henny. I've really, but it's been really horrid. Very horrid. Because just when I sort of thought things were getting better, it was overwhelming. Just very briefly. He's been my companion really through my blindness, he calls it blindness, through my move to South Africa, my move back to Germany, through all the trauma and the drama, and he's just always just been such an amazing portal keeper and a dancer amongst the stars. So he definitely wasn't a normal dog. One of the most gentle-spirited beings I've ever met. We were very sad at the time, well, a lot of people, because when we were in South Africa, a lot of Millie, my love, dancing with Millie. Thank you. Feel you so much, Millie. I'm almost always holding your hand. Thank you, love. Yeah, it was a pity that we actually had him neutered because he really helped a lot of people that were very scared of dogs in South Africa, and he got them to, they were totally in love with him. So yeah, why we wanted baby Yukis. So yeah, he was then diagnosed with diabetes. I mean, he is 11 and a half. He was like a little orpa. And I went into total overwhelm cooking for him and working with injections. So I was really overwhelmed. And he was doing so well, unbelievably well. And I still went last Thursday before, and got him stocked up on all sorts of amazing, yummy things that I could cook for him. Obviously, it was traumatic going to the vet and stabilizing, and he was kind of okay. And then he just decided to stop eating, and he got very, very thin, and it was really wild. And I thought that if he could have an infusion, he might start eating again and just but he was just so loving and all that through that, my own trauma and drama. And then this time last week, we took him for the infusion, and the vet did a scan and found that he actually had, his stomach was completely filled with tumors. So there was no ways that he could actually eat anything anymore. So I was really blessed to have a very, very special time with him this time last week, and sang to him and prayed and called on a whole lot of people. And yeah, so we had to have a very, very harsh day last Saturday. But as the vet, which was really great, it was part of his beautiful gift that he went so quickly, but it was such a shock because he was fine. And then it was just literally in not even a week. So, hello, Josh, beautiful Josh. So, yeah, so I've, It's kind of crazy because when I've been in so much pain, but at the same time, the universe has just been so incredibly amazing. So I have this crow every day. Yeah, it will heal. Yeah, well. And of course the cost. I mean, it's terrible that it comes down to cost. I'm thousands of euros in debt right now, so uh, so we'll get through that one as well. So I really felt like I'd flown, and obviously he's completely around. Today was very heavy because I went on my first alone walk, but it had just started snowing, so it was just so really sad, but also just it's such a confusion of feelings because Mother Gaia is just showing me so much beauty that is absolutely breathtaking. So it's this total dichotomy of feelings that we're going through. So if I'm doing this, I'm sure you're all going to be doing some of this. This is like really, that's just a very quick, brief catch up. And thank you so much for your love and your care and holding me. And yeah, I was totally overwhelmed just like cooking for him and keeping that routine going and having to deal with giving injections, and it's not pleasant at all. And carrying a dog up 3 flights of stairs. Oh, but he's very special. He talks to me a lot, but I won't go into how. I think you all know I'm pretty wacky, so I see a little too much. So I have been meaning to go on, but I haven't been on. So, but this like leaves me no option tonight because we just want to like breathe. If we can breathe, we need to breathe. We all need to breathe. We are going through. I think if we had if you had to write in a novel what was happening in the planets and the Earth right now, people wouldn't believe it. It would be, oh God, I'm not reading that trash because it's like you can't make this stuff up. It's like it's absolutely like interesting. So very briefly, let me tell you, maybe you didn't know. And I think there's still more. So if I've forgotten, and I haven't gone very far, so you just kind of wear me. So today, I just realized we have Friday the 13th. We'll go through that. Then we have Valentine's Day tomorrow. And then we have Mahashivratri on the 15th. And then that's Sunday. Is it Sunday? And then on Monday, we have Rosenmontag, which is the end of the 11/11 festival. It's just before Lent. And then we have Shrove Tuesday or Mardi Gras on Tuesday. And then we have Ash Wednesday, which is the beginning of Lent, which is also the eclipse, which is also Chinese New Year, all happening on one day. Lots of ash and fire, and it's a little tricky, guys. And then at the end of the month, we have all those planets, 6 planets going around. So let's just like briefly prepare ourselves. So if you didn't know what these are, because whether we like it or not, the energies are there. Grace, beautiful Grace, hello. Yeah, it has been harsh, but it's okay. You know, I've like really had to look death in the face again. So not everybody has to do that. We're all doing our own lots and bits, and I think for many of us is this total dichotomy where we're doing such amazing stuff and seeing such amazing stuff and connecting with so many people from different planets, and at the same time we're really feeling the connection for many of us. Not everybody, and that's fine. Not everybody wants it. But at the same time, it's like ripping this shedding of the snake. And I do go through that in feng shui because with in the fact you've got the 4 animals around your house, and then you have the snake in the center, which is your home. Hello, beautiful boop boop boop. Now we'll ask PG if he wants to pop in, if he doesn't get buried in snow. I will put up some of my pretty snow pictures today because it did like snow briefly. No, it snowed quite nicely today, so it was just very picturesque. I lost my train of thought. And of course, there's all this insane disclosure out there. But try not to get get your focus into that crap. I mean, it's very real and it's like a little rough, but let other people deal with it. I believe very strongly that we are still here to hugely hold the light. That's what it needs to be done, because we really need to keep the stability of this like wildfire that's like coming on the planet. I wish I could be like nicer about it, but this month is going to be really a little challenging for everybody. I said there's this amazing stuff happening on the one side and then the other. Oh, I was talking about the ripping of the snake skin. I don't know if you know, but when a snake sheds its skin, which we do in our homes if we've got the feng shui going, but when a snake sheds its skin, it's very painful. The snake is extremely vulnerable, and it feels like it's been sunburnt. It's like burns. So it's got to go and find like a reasonably shady place. It can't go out into the sun. It can't be where it usually is. And it can't get away fast. It's really extremely vulnerable and in extreme pain just for a little while until it just, it's like being sunburnt. And then you adjust to it. So this is, I think I was just looking at some of the images and what we've gone through this year. We're so amazing. It's like been a year. It's been so amazing and so huge, and especially since 11/11. But the whole year, not since any time. We're all doing our own huge stuff, and so there's going to, I'm quite sure, be some end bits for a lot of people as well. And you might just find that you are, as I said, it feels like I'm diving into the eye of a hurricane. Yeah. Oh, our beautiful family. We are a very, very special group of beings, of souls. I won't say people, we're just souls. So I don't know what I've got. Oh, these were the eye of the snake. And aren't they just amazing? This is the one I just absolutely love. It's like this total vortex. Wow. But at the same time, we have Divine Mother. Oh, this has been the last weeks before. I mean, really, I think we've all felt a lot of this. The rainbow bridge and the rainbow body and breathing in light and our DNA changing. So we've got all this real big personal stuff that's happening with the sun and the planets and the energy and the veils shifting. And yeah, I'm kind of over a lot of stuff. Okay, so let's just go into what Friday the 13th is. So Friday the 13th was the Knight Templars. They were part of the Crusaders, and they went off to the Holy Land, and there was lots of Muslims there, and there was a lot of, obviously, King Solomon's temple and secrets, and they, the Solomon seal, so he was into a lot of like deep magic, and they brought back a lot of this magic. Obviously, they didn't like tell everybody exactly what it was all about. And if you look at And they brought back, I mean, just out of nowhere, they started building these incredible cathedrals that were, well, you know, if you look at the stained glass windows, it's sound frequency and light and all kinds of wonderful codes. I mean, years back, I used to kind of joke and say it was like rave parties, you know. If you go to any of these cathedrals, it must have been just absolutely incredible, where you have this amazing music, the singing, which is like so beautiful, and the smells, which I'm sure would make everybody a little bit spaced out with the incense, and then this incredible light streaming in through these windows and sacred geometry just pouring. I don't, if you've been to any of these cathedrals, I haven't been to Chartres, but I've been to Cologne. They are beyond, you can't, they're beyond. It's like, how it's beyond. There are absolutely no words to describe the feeling when you see the majesty of it. I'd studied it, but once, you know, in art, but when you actually see it, it's like, it's insane. And yeah, they are the four pillars of the world. I can't remember his name right now, but he's written some amazing things. And that was the Knights Templar. It was also the stonemasons, the masons. They weren't, yeah, they were keepers of very, very high knowledge. These pictures don't do justice to it at all. But I don't know, you're going to have a little treat with the stained glass window, because somehow my I don't know, I was telling me I couldn't create, and then all of a sudden I went back and I had all these hundreds of beautiful images. So just enjoy the eye candy as we go along the story. So let me just think what date it was. It was in 1300 and something. So these were very magical. They were deep secrets that they put into the temples. And of course, in good Western fashion, it was on Friday, October the 13th in 1307, the Knights Templar across France were suddenly arrested by order of Philip the Fourth of France. They were accused of heresy, blasphemy, idol worship, corruption, and secret rites. So this was all part of the Masonic thing, the Freemasons, which is, it's Masons, you know, Freimaurer. Maurer is a builder. I think they've done a big mixture of Solomon's stuff and also the Muslim stuff. It's like, you know, genies and things, spirits, so they're very clear about that. So obviously lots of torture went on, and obviously it was much deeper, and the reason was, you know, let's lest the people know, lest the people be free and be what we're supposed to be on the planet. So besides that they were very wealthy, because remember they had Solomon's secrets and they used them, yeah, manifestations. But the and I'm not sure when it happened, when there was another pope. There was a second pope that was in France. I must actually have a look at that. I went to the village where it's called that compound in France where that is. Can't remember offhand it was. But they owed the Templars enormous debts because they had money. They envied their wealth and influence and wanted control over the church power in France. The Templars were bankers, landowners, and an elite military order originally founded to protect pilgrims in the Holy Land after the Crusades. They were powerful, very, very powerful. Well, they knew the secrets, yeah. And just like what's happening now, we don't want to take too many steps back. They were obviously imprisoned and tortured in good luck, blah, blah, blah fashion. And then the Pope stepped in and officially dissolved the order under pressure from Philip, Prince Philip, King Philip. So obviously it was just where that little bit of Friday the 13th comes from. That, and this is what we are right now as well. We're working with deep secrets and deep magic, which has come out. There was a little time a little while ago that I was actually getting like Pythagoras and Leonardo da Vinci, and so many people went to Egypt, and I was like, well, why didn't they tell anything? Because it's not like commonly written. Yeah. These things are just so beautiful. Because it was sworn secrecy, the temple secrets, the Egyptian secrets, they were not for people. And now anybody can pick up anything on the internet. It's the same as the Buddhist stuff, even the Hindu stuff. It was all, there were certain levels and it wasn't for everybody. But now this stuff is all just absolutely open everywhere. Anybody can, with a computer, can pick it up, or just think about it and you'll be, whoops, there we're going into the sky. So yeah, so if you can, please go into a church. They are just so amazing. Where am I? Sorry, I'm always get a little, and it's a long time since I've been here. Oh, is Angela here as well? Angela with the beautiful voice. I hope you're still singing, sweet one. No. So, and this is also what we are in our own space, and I think a lot needs to be done, not in secret, but in silence. There's a huge amount of silence that's being called at the moment for many people. Because we're working with sacred architecture and guardianship for many of us. Architecture, as we're building the new earth, we're keeping her safe, however we're doing it, yeah. I still say don't do magic. Just say there's more than enough energy out there that you don't have to dip into magic. That's why, when things get done like that in secret, I'm almost contradicting myself, but then it's really not okay, yeah. And it's always open to corruption, and we don't know what we're bringing in, Fools rush in where angels fear to tread. And we don't know the energies that are out there. As I've said for a long time, we don't know. I've had a taste of some of them, which have been like a little crazy. And it's just going to be more and more, Well, like whatever is created is alive, yeah. So, good. Thank you. Yeah. It's important to sing. It's important to be creative. That's the most important thing right now, is to create. So they were the keepers, they were builders or masons. In the stone is very powerful. Personally, I'm working with the earth and the 4 kingdoms of the earth right now. It's just my little focus, or my big focus, and light. Not into too much else. They were keepers of roots, or the keepers of the ley lines and of sacred sites, and guardians of sacred sites. They were the custodians of wealth and knowledge. And obviously this becomes a threat to politics or to the church, which had so much control. So, yeah. Oh, did I mention Valentine? Did I mention Valentine's Day? Oh, yeah. So we have Valentine's Day, and I don't have sweethearts and things for us. So let's just give you something more pretty to look at. He was very interesting. heard somewhere that he married gay people. He was a Roman. What was he? Was he a monk or something? In the year 269 CE, during the reign of Claudius Gothicus, there was a belief that single men made better soldiers than married ones. So marriage was forbidden. Okay, so banned marriages for young men. I mean, shame. But yeah. Anyway, Valentine is said to have secretly married couples anyway. He blessed unions in defiance of the decree and helped Christians during their persecution. As far as I know, he was also, he was. And for this, he was arrested and later executed on February the 14th. So whether you believe or you don't believe in Valentine's Day, it doesn't matter. I mean, we didn't really do it, and the English don't like to do it. And they say it's all like a big money-making thing, blah, 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 blah. But however, you've got millions of people who are actually like working with Valentine's Day. So we're dealing with a lot of millions of people celebrating energy right now. Yeah. So, but yeah, so who was Valentine's? Saint Valentine. He, we don't know. This is what's so sad about our history in the West. So much has been buried or corrupted or twisted, or we really don't know. I mean, even the Rosicrucians and the Templars, it's I've dipped into that over the years quite a bit, but it's still also so corrupt, and so big chunks of the truth are missing. Therefore, as you know, I like going into the Vedas and the Puranas and dipping it down there, because they've pretty much got it written down for the last 6,000 or 7,000 years, and before that it was very clearly in chants. And I think I was reading somewhere that it's like only really three notes when they chant. But you know, the Indians, that they've got like a big scale. They don't have 7 or 8, 7 notes. They do like 5 little notes in between. Their musical scale is quite different. It's like the Chinese scale is also quite different. It's not always that easy for us to. A lot of people can't listen to it. Things are changing. So it was just also very interesting how love kind of defied. Yet again, we're dealing with this huge energy of love defying the political control, which is just really what we're at about right now. It's just love, 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 love. But it's not that love, you know. It's a very quiet power of love. Yeah. Sometimes we're waiting for these great feelings, but they're not always there. And then, because this is really quite important as well, into the Puranic tradition. So then we jump over very quickly. I said these days are insane. It's like boom, 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 boom. And it's everybody celebrating. It's like, I always think it's like quite interesting when we have New Year, Easter and Pesach on the same dates. It was a couple of years ago. It just gets beautiful. Sorry, my it doesn't want to create for me at the moment. So, which is fine. So, Shiva had been sitting for after Sati when she immolated herself. That's like a whole nother story. So he went off and he meditated for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. And he was so deep in meditation that all sorts of crazy things were happening on the earth. was it? Oh, right. There was this crazy demon who that's his name, Tarakasura. He could only be defeated by a son of Shiva. But obviously, if Shiva wasn't married and Shiva was in meditation, this was going to be very complicated. But just as a side note here, Shiva never actually properly fathered a child. Okay, we have like Ganesha, and we have what's his name? Kartikeya, who was actually just a divine gift. And they brought him up, but he hasn't fathered as per se. He also has daughters. But anyway, so off they went and they got hold of the beautiful goddess, god of love in India. Yeah, it's not India. And his name is Kama, Kama, not Karma, Karma, but this is Kama as in the Kama Sutra, okay? He's also called Kamadeva, and he carries a sugar cane. They love their sugar cane. A sugar cane bow, a bowstring of buzzing bees, and arrows tipped with fragrant flowers. And his consort is Rati, the embodiment of sensual delight. So after the death of Sati, Shiva withdrew from the world. He entered deep, deep, deep meditation in the Himalayas, detached, untouchable, and beyond desire. Meanwhile, the gods were in trouble. A powerful demon, Tarakasura, could only be defeated by the son of Shiva, but Shiva had renounced all worldly connection. The universe needed him to awaken his love again. And remember, in the meantime, we've got Parvati, who is going through lifetime after lifetime, just like meditating and praying, who's actually this reincarnation of Sati, but she's just meditating and praying. Yeah. So, no, he didn't father any children. He was made by Parvati. She made him out of clay and the sandalwood of her body. Very interesting. Yeah. He didn't father any children. As his seed, with his seed. He and it was Brahma that actually put the head on the Gana head onto Ganesha. No. But yet they are his children. Okay. So they do what they would do. They are his children. Cool. So the universe needed him to awaken to love again. As I said, remember, we've got like poor Parvati going over and over again when she's only eating leaves and bark by now. And she's like living in the forest, just praying and praying and praying for this beautiful Shiva person. Okay, so the gods sent for Kama. Remember, not Karma, Kama Sutra. As Parvati performed several austerities to win Shiva's heart, Kama waited for the perfect moment. He drew his sugarcane bow. He released a fragrant flower arrow of desire, and the arrow struck Shiva. But for a split second, awareness shifted, desire stirred, and then the third eye opens. Shiva opened his third eye in fury, and from his forehead burst a flame of pure consciousness, and Kama was burnt to ashes instantly. So bad karma for Kama. Rati wept. Love had been destroyed. And she wept for a long time. And there's a like long discussion with her, and she goes to Parvati and she says, I'm like without my guy now. This is not fun. I really loved him very much, but I've just got this urn of ashes. Oh, I do love the Puranas and the Vedas. They're so very real. But later moved by compassion. Later, Shiva restores karma, but without a physical body. But dear old Rati wanted the physical stuff. She likes like desirous, delicious things. And the Kama Sutra is just so beautiful. It's not just about funky positions. It's about food and how to cook and how to play music and how to talk about the stars and how to massage and the aromas. It's like, it's definitely a 24-hour thing. It's not just wham bam, thank you, ma'am. But later moved by compassion, but without a physical body. And from that day forward, Kama became Ananga, the bodiless one. So love is this ethereal thing. Love no longer needs a body. Desire became subtle, invisible, energetic. And eventually Shiva and Parvati united. Kartikeya, Skanda, Kartikeya. Yeah, Kartikeya, yeah. Their son Skanda or Kartikeya was born and fulfilled destiny. So Mahashivratri is also in a lot of places in India. I'm not sure if it's south or east or west, but they also celebrate it as the union, as the marriage of Shiva and Parvati. Just remember that these dates, they don't happen like this every year. Huh? I mean, obviously the 14th of February happens, and we don't know when Friday the 13th happens. It just happens to be this one here today. And Mahashivratri is on a different day. It goes with the lunar calendar. It's the darkest day of the year. Okay, so, and it's just so interesting. I think I meant that it's like if you speak to Indian people, they don't tell their children they love them. It's not a thing of love, It's like, why must I tell you I love you? It's like really weird, They just yeah, it's why do you need to be told I love you? I do all the stuff. I cook for you. You eat. A very interesting culture. It's like nice to watch some Indian movies, not just okay. So the deeper teaching is that desire that disturbs meditation is burnt. And remember, this is all connected now to Mahashivratri because that's how they awoke Shiva. So it's about purifying ourselves, purifying our desires, and transforming it into a different love with meditation. Conscious union is higher than unconscious impulse. Fire transforms, it does not merely destroy. So, another shading. So, desire becomes devotion and impulse becomes a sacred union. So, the great night of Shiva. So, it said, yeah, okay. So, it falls on the 14th night of the dark fortnight in the month of Falguna, which is either February or March. So, this is the night just before the new moon. So it's dark. And it's one of the only, I think it's the only festival that is done in the dark. All the other festivals are sun festivals and light festivals. And they've got a festival going every day. But it's when the sky is at its darkest. And it is it's not just a mythical thing, but as I said, there's something with the tilt of the earth. And there's a very big pull on the human system. And there is, I'm not sure, I can't remember, honestly, so much, that there are 3 planets which are aligned, obviously the sun and the moon and something else. And that happens on this day every year, okay? So there's this incredible impulse and pull on the human system. So the story behind it is that we are not to lie down, because we are the only creation that can, well, monkeys can too, but we are, I suppose they meditate too. Well, Hanuman. We are the creation that has this incredible gift of having our spine erect and being, what's it? Homo erectus. We are. So it's important not to lie down. I suppose it's fine if you sleep sitting up or standing up. And the moon obviously strongly affects all of us, because it's not even there yet, but she's really about to come through. Okay, remember that our body is over 70% water as well as the planet. So there's this huge pull on our watery system, which is the Hara chakra, which is where we start to work with the awakening of the Kundalini. Remember that not the base, it's the next phase. Okay, so it's also working hugely. There's so much happening hugely on this Shiva and Shakti union. Okay, and and the planetary system is said to support a natural rise of energy. So the whole thing is to remain upright, awake, and aware, so that the pranic flow can rise easily. If you don't do it, just be very aware of it. I mean, we've been on it for a long time, that we should be being aware. Yes, you snicker. Brain needs some dishwasher. It's also just the night when Shiva does the Tandev, which is the dance, which is not of destruction. It's of transformation, and he's actually destroying. He's got his foot on the little dwarf of ignorance. That's what it's really doing. So many people do a soft fast. I would really strongly recommend not eating meat or anything that's really heavy on the body. So if you don't want to fast, just eat lightly, eat vegetables and fruit, and they can be cooked. A lot won't eat rice or breads, okay, but it's up to you. I would just really strongly suggest that you do the fast in whichever level you want to. And Om Namah Shivaya, if you can, and if you're going to be with Jared, we can do that 1008 times. I think we did it, which is quite amazing, because the more that we chant, the more that we bring in Shiva's energy into around us. These are very sacred words. It's like his mantra. And from time to time, sit in meditation. It's definitely not a ritual of sadness. It is an act of vertical ascent. So I do think it's going to be quite powerful this year. I mean, there's so many other things that are happening. We're working with so much energy pouring in from our Western perspective as well. And Sadhguru always does, for many decades, he's done a huge thing. And he says that he has got over 120 million people celebrating Namashivratri with him this year. So that's online, etc. That's a lot of million people. Okay. He does quite a big thing. Most probably I'm going to watch some of it. I never have really, maybe little bits and pieces. I watched that other guy, Paramahansa, what's his name, Vikananda or something. He also does a very beautiful. He worships Vishnu, and he dresses in this beautiful clothing with like flowers and floral. He's absolutely gorgeous. He's from Mauritius. But yeah, that's like very Vishnu. Yeah, I did jump into that a bit last year. So don't miss it. Really try not to fall asleep. Just one night a year. A lot of people, because of what's happening, are actually taking it a little bit further and fasting and staying up, fasting and praying for 48 hours because of what's coming up next, or even longer. So yeah, it's also, as I said, the marriage of Shiva and Parvati, and it's not a romantic union. So yeah, it's this of consciousness and energy. You know, the Shiva and the Shakti energy, their marriage symbolizes stillness marrying movement, sky marrying earth, witness marrying life. Without Parvati, Shiva is inert. Without Shiva, Shakti is directionless. So together creation flows. And then Shiva does his Tandava. So you can also on this night if you want. And I keep listening to it, the Tandava, that you can Google it, YouTube it. It's that amazing song that the Agoris sing. You know, that is thousands of years old and it's just still got such a cool beat. That's what I love, this Indian stuff. It's like got such an amazing beat and these songs are so old. Yeah. Oh, the Tandava is not gentle. That's where the 108, if you know, come from. There are 108 movements in the dance. And Shiva uses, that's his Tandava, which is his little drum. And he creates this drum beat, you know. We got the drum beat going. It's like the rhythm, the vibration. Da, 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 da. So it is creation, it's preservation, it's destruction, it's concealment, and it's grace. So we've been through a lot of this stuff in the last couple of months. But yeah, you can feel the dance inwardly. There are a lot of like rituals which maybe I'm not doing. I don't know them. But I think Jared will be doing some of the more focused rituals of the Shiva Linga. That's got to be certain things that you do with it. So it's also the ego trembles, the old skins fall away, and the serpent sheds its flipping tail, the last bit. That's what happens with the Tandava. So a lot of stuff is happening. And then there's this also, and we've got that also coming up. There's another like amazing story, which is also celebrated a lot through India, which is the hunter in the tree, which is where the staying awake, etc. He didn't know what was happening. So it's like just a beautiful little story. And a hunter once unknowingly spent the night in a tree above a Shivalingam. He was hungry and afraid of wild animals, so he jumped up a tree and he stayed awake all night, sitting upright. Okay. He didn't know it was Shivratri. To keep himself alert, he plucked leaves from the tree and dropped them below. The tree happened to be a bilva, the bale tree, which has got the 3 leaves, okay, which is sacred to Shiva. And the leaves fell onto the lingam beneath. So he unknowingly fasted, kept vigil, and offered sacred leaves. By dawn, he was blessed and liberated. Intention is powerful, but so is innocence. People will feel this, you know, even if they don't know what's happening. You know, very often you just Mauritius. Oh, it's quite near to South Africa. So is Madagascar, where the lemurs come from, the funny little things, which got to name Lemuria. Who was that? Oh, okay. Yeah, so even if you don't know, you do know. You will feel the energy. Yeah. Don't overwhelm yourself. Do it your way and do whatever you feel is right thing to do. But these are just like converging huge amounts of things that are just happening. Boom, 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 boom. So if you feel a little overwhelmed, or you feel that you're diving into the eye of a crazy hurricane, and obviously we've got a lot of stuff happening on our planet. And just remember that there is Shivratri every month, and it's just before that dark night. This is just the big one, okay, which is the darkest night of the year in the northern hemisphere. So it's all about entering the deeper current of the Tandev, of the inner darkness without fear on Mahashivratri, remaining upright while gravity pulls, and letting desires burn and allowing sacred union with him. It is the still point before birth. If you can, listen to any of the Shiva chants or do the Namah Shivaya. I do recommend it. Work with the 5 elements. It does work with the 5 elements. And then just after that, oh no, that's at the end of the month. Okay, so now we're not even breathing after this, and then we have, on the Monday, so that's on Sunday. So on Monday we have Rosenmontag. I don't have much on it right now, I'm just telling you about it. This is in Germany, it's the end of the 11/11. Remember we did 11/11 on many levels. But this was 11/11, which is the beginning of Carnival in Germany. So they've been partying since 11/11, which starts at 11 seconds, 11 minutes past 11 on 11/11, and they have all those googly funny people. Hey, lovey. And they, especially in Cologne and Mainz, not so much here. They do, I mean, they'll celebrate the 11/11 here. But then on Monday, it's a very, very big thing. It's called Rosenmontag. I don't know, I can't remember why it's called Rosenmontag. I did know. But everybody dresses up, pretty much even at work. But there will be big parades all over Germany on Sunday. So it's the last of, it's this total debauchery before fasting. So they've been partying for months. This is the big party. There's floats and people dress up, and you go to town, and the streets are all blocked off. And on Monday, everybody goes to school in a costume. Okay, it's really cute. There goes ladybirds and all sorts of crazy little things. But everybody dresses up on Monday. And it's a huge indulgence before we get into Lent. So what's the date then? So that's the 16th. No, it's the 15th, 16th, yeah. 17th, ta-da-da-da, we have a lot of people use it as Shrove Tuesday. A lot of things people for Lent just give up wheat. It's a good thing because negative elementals like to eat on wheat. So it's quite a good thing to give up wheat if you don't know what to give up. A lot of people also give up chocolate. Let's not go into the total ridiculousness of how you could always find a way around Lent, but let's just try and keep this as sweet as possible. So it was also Mardi Gras in England, I think it is, and in Ireland, where they're feasting and feasting and feasting and drinking and feasting. The churches will do the pancakes just to get rid of. It's like the Pesach thing, you get rid of all your flour. So this was the reasoning behind the pancakes, is to get rid of all the flour in your house. There's big reasons behind these. It's not just, this, everything is scientific. It's all about engineering. It's, I don't know why. I must look at it. Why demons like wheat? And if you can get rid of them, don't eat wheat, get rid of the wheat. So that's also part of the Pesach thing. But it's also, it's a big thing that if we eat too much wheat, we develop a wheat intolerance. It's there were lots of other grains that we use. There's nothing wrong with wheat. It's just as most things in the West, it's been the excessiveness. And then, bang, we hit Ash Wednesday. I don't go to church. It's not a big thing for me, but for many years, I've always fasted. I've done Lent, not fasted. I've done Lent. I've just always said it's just so easy to give up something. So you can give up smoking, you can give up drink, you can give up a lot of things if you want to on Lent, because you're getting so, that was just like 20 years ago. So the reasoning was like, there's millions of people, and we're talking, this is like, these are on big scales, you know, huge scales. You've got millions of people, you know, the other 120 million people are now going to fast. It's insane. There's all this stuff happening. It's absolutely mashugana. So try to get rid of it, you know, get rid of something, go do a fast, whatever you want to fast with. A lot of people don't drink sugar cool drinks, and it's only 40 days, and you've got so much of this amazing energy that is being pushed through to you, so it's a lot easier to actually do any of this stuff. And then, as if that wasn't enough, okay, on that same day, on fasting day, on Lent, on Ash Wednesday, which I also find very interesting because Shiva always says that everything goes to ash. And he is the Lord of the Ash, and he covers himself with the ash from the burial grounds. But if you think of it, it's like anything that you burn goes to ash. You know, if you burn cloth, it goes to ash. You burn your bread too much, it will go to ash. Including bodies go to ash. Everything. And that was tissue salts. Those are, it's actually amazing. They're really amazing. If you don't know about tissue salts, the man actually was born, I didn't know that, but he was actually came from my village, Shusla. But there are 12, and that was part of, you know, with the invention of the microscope and chemistry. So what was left after burning the body? Okay, and was modified. Okay, it's been so changed. Okay. Heavily display, absolutely. No wonder people develop, absolutely. And you know, that is the perfect thing of it's the Freemason thing, the Freimaurer. It's their little decree. The perfect thing is sitting by a waterfall with a piece of shaft of wheat. But yeah, remember they also, when they ate wheat before, it was unrefined, and when they sifted it so that they got the white flour. So that's why wealthy people were often very ill, because they ate all this crazy stuff. Tissue salts are flipping amazing. So yeah, those are the elements that are silica, etc., that are left behind after the body is, after cremation. That's what you still find in the ash there, and they work. I mean, I've like done amazing things with them with people that don't know, but also it's like Bach flower remedies as well. They're also just amazing. But the tissue salts are like really amazing, and the combinations. You could maybe, I don't know, she's passed now. What was her name? Margaret Roberts. She had the most amazing book that I had. I remember a friend of mine, she was like dressed like almost like the Sangoma. She was a huge girl, well, she's a lot older than me. And she came and she sat me down and she said, you have to go and get these. She said, don't just go and get one, go and get them all. and the book and the 12 tissue salts. Yeah, the book, see if you can see it online, Margaret Roberts. I mean, even down to crusty anus, there's a tissue salt for absolutely everything and then some. Grumpy children, crusty nostrils, earwax, like the craziest like things that you don't think that you need, as well as others, the sleep combinations. I can't remember them all offhand right now. They're very, very elitist and expensive here in my village. What is like fucking Germany? Sometimes, sorry. Actually, I've been really like beautifully treated by some Germans the last week, couple of weeks. Where were we? Ash. Yeah, so Ash Wednesday, we're dealing with Ash again. Hey, Clint, hello, welcome. So nice to see you pop in. Thank you for so much love. Thank you for you. Yeah, interesting times. We're right in them and ahead. And even Ash, okay. Yeah. Oh, interesting. Yeah. Well, it's obviously it was, yeah, because it's the Friday the 13th. That's where it comes from. And then, of course, they just went into 13 and made it all crazy. But there's also all sorts of things about 13. But we're not going into the numerology stuff now. Just remember, I still remember this. It's like signs and wonders. Signs and wonders. We don't need them. But sometimes they're just too many to ignore. I've had this crow. And then I stopped today to actually look up and read about crow and thresholds. Like everywhere I go, oh, there's this crow. Since Saturday, when I came out of the store, there was this crow. Then we went to the lake, and there was this crow. And there was shame, we put him down on Saturday, and there was every I mean, I've done so much praying. I've spent pretty much the whole night playing beautiful music to him and just calling in all sorts of people. And I did take some photos of it, but it was just like how nature, we even saw a heron, and it was the weirdest day. You could hardly see in front of you. It was so full of mist. It was misty. So obviously there weren't very many people at the lake. And I went to a part of the lake that we didn't go to. It was like far away. We didn't know that part. I wanted to go to my part, and I said, no, we're going where you said we must go, so we'll go there. And I'd stopped to get Berliners because I wanted Berliners because my father was from Berlin. And he's obviously waiting. So and we just got like a takeout coffee because we had a lot of time also to spare before we went to the cremation ground. To the crematorium. So the crow. So oh, interesting. No, I'm sure they do. Hey? She did it as well. That whole book was like she did it as well. Absolutely, she did it. I'm thinking about it. I did it, but it was such a nice book because she would also give you recipes that contained all these naturally, yeah, like green salads and things that you should eat. She was an amazing woman, Margaret Roberts. Oh, right. Then every crazy, weird, and wonderful dog was out. It was very cold and icy, and I think it was a bit rainy. But Not definitely not. I mean, we've got like really interesting dogs in Germany. Yeah, where we are. But like things that I've never seen before, like huge things that was like just okay, Yuki. See, told you they were coming for you. And then there was this interesting guy and his wife, and I was standing at the rubbish bin, we were just putting us like things, cups and things in the bin. And he had this big black Labrador, and they kind of got entwined in me with their leash. And then they went off, and I still thought afterwards, oh, I just took a picture from them behind, because Shiva always has a black dog with him when he's a keeper of dogs. He's a keeper of everything. So it was just like so amazing. And then everywhere I went, there was what was it? Oh, there were herons, and there was like a whole long line of ducks. Must have been about the funny ducks, like 10 ducks. It was like really weird. And yesterday, I went into my kitchen. I mean, every time I spent some time with my son, which was really nice with Alex. Well, I didn't spend time with him. He went away. He let me have his house. So I didn't. But every time we would go somewhere, there would be a flipping crow. It was like, so after a while, it's like, no, this is like getting really weird. We even went to McDonald's on the way home. No, there's a crow eating McFlurry. So after a while, you'd like start noticing there's way too many crows. And then I went into my kitchen yesterday morning, and the window was just open like a little bit, and then there's the trees out there. You know, I've done quite a few weird pictures from my kitchen window, and I do love my kitchen window. My kitchen is very holy. And there's this flipping crow. It's not the same crow, but he's staring at me from these branches out there, and all I can see is this crow. No, this is just too weird. So I ran and I got my camera, and he was still there. So I took a video of him. And the day before, I'd had a little robin. I've never seen a robin redbreast here in Germany, but he literally was doing a dance, and I'd gone with somebody who's got another big black dog, and his robin danced in front of us for about over 5 minutes. It was so interesting because it was everything, Angela. Because as she said, this is like Wahnsinn. It's like amazing. Why is this bird just not going? Because there's 2 big people here and a dog that's like dancing around, and this little robin redbreast is just like tweet, 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 tweet. So I took a lot of pictures of that. Yeah. So I did not see the crow today. I didn't look really. I did go out in the snow, fresh snow. Okay, so now we've had this pretty little, now we've got Shiva, and we're now tired and we've energized, and we've got all this amazing energy coming through us after all this chanting and sitting up straight and kind of knowing a little bit of what we're doing, but at least we're kind of preparing our spine. You can put a pillow behind you, especially if you're older. Remember, it's not like serious, but it is, you know, it's kind of still quite, you can dance, you can have a party, but just keep the spine upright. And it makes sense, you know, it's the human beings that are being blessed, but everything gets blessed, all the animals and everything get blessed. I wonder if they sleep. Okay, so now we've got through that. Oh, we're going into Ash Wednesday. And what happens on Ash Wednesday this year? Boom, 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 boom. What have we got this guy? What have we got? I will talk about this a bit more later. We have a solar eclipse. But we also have New Year, Chinese New Year, starting on a solar eclipse, which is really interesting. And it is the fire horse, which is also very interesting because it's the number 1 in Feng Shui. It only comes around every 60 years, and it always brings a lot of like mega transformation. Like the Great Fire of London, 1666 was the fire horse year. 1966 was like a lot of political upheaval and freedom, the youth standing up against politics. But from my perspective, it also holds the space of water, because it's the one is one white water. So here we have this complete craziness of double fire, because horse is fire and fire is fire, and then we have it in the water. So we're creating some intense, incredible steam. So, and then we have a solar eclipse, which they call a ring of fire. So we can't make this. As I said, if you put this stuff all in a novel, people will put the book down and say this is now totally ridiculous. But hey, this is what it is. I just had a bit of fun with the fire horse. I like that one. As I said, my thing was okay. So now the eclipse. So it only occurs when the sun and the moon, and there we can go into that as well, which is they align near the lunar nodes, which we've spoken about again before as well, which is Rahu and Ketu. Oh, that's why it's also part of this Navratri, Mahashivratri, is also part of the drinking of the poison. He doesn't drink it, never drank it. He just held the poison, all the anger and the pain and the poisons of the earth. So that's also part of what Mahashivratri is about. The Shiva of of a lot of other things, but those are just a few things that we know that can make it a little more interesting for us. Okay, so we're just dropping all this shit as well, dropping our grief and our emotions and all this. I mean, we're ripping. This is like, and remember when they were fighting with that, the snake actually split, and Ganesha holds the tail, which is Ketu, or south node, and the head is headless, which is head disappeared. So it is Rahu, which is the north node. He's a demon. Okay. So it's the last shedding of this. So bring in blessed Ganesha as well. They are the head and the tail of the cosmic serpent. Okay, so we have a solar eclipse, which is the sun and the moon and Rahu. Rahu is in Aquarius at the moment, so just in case you wanted to know. So it's a lot of people, and I know a lot of people won't go out in the eclipse time. So it's like quite interesting that we've got all this celebration of the new year. They find that the energy, it's the dragon eating the sun, and it's like light is being temporarily obscured. So these are things that we can just say, well, okay, this is kind of going to happen. So if just keep your feet on the ground and your head in the stars. So generally, in all the traditions, the veils are very thin when there's a eclipse. Old karmas surface, emotional tides rise, people are weird, and decisions ripple long term. I can remember before it was like so weird. There was like a partial eclipse. And I was driving, and it was like so weird. Everything went so quiet, because I know when I stopped at the lights, and then the people, the sort of street sellers at the lights out in South Africa, and they was like, what's happening? Because it had gone dark, and there was not a sound, not a bird, nothing. It was like the weirdest feeling. And then I shouted and I said, look at the sun. Yeah, it is like the dragon eating the sun. They're not bad, they are quite magnificent, but they magnify a lot of energy. So we're getting, as I said, I mean, I wish I could tell you it's going to be the most fabulous, wonderful month, which it is, but just like be aware, like there's a lot of, just walk that path, guys. So we've got like lots and lots of compressed karma releasing or coming up again, sudden revelations, collective shifts, huge political structures, tensions globally, like, you know, we know this, but it's happening. Very often over the years, over eclipses and clusters of stars, leadership has changed. There have been natural disturbances, economic resets, collective awakenings. And this is like a huge cosmic awakening. It's not just a planetary awakening. So this is being rippled out into the cosmos, and we are all holding it. So each person needs to do their little light bit, whatever you're doing. As Victor says so beautifully, every little bit helps. Because you don't know how big your little bit actually is. Just don't get swayed into too much of that nonsense in the head, and stay away from social media as much as you can. Try not to be on your computers or your phones too much. These are definitely eating your brain cell. Please use them. You know, I do love my phone and I love my computer work, but choose it. Yeah, don't let it choose you. You be the boss of it. You can take this as far forward as you want to in your life. The only thing we have to worry about is our spine. The whole cosmos, the whole universe up our spine and our head. So the only thing we have to worry about is our thoughts and our body, our head and our body, and just this crazy little space around me. It's not very big. We don't have to worry about the world. We only have to worry about me and the way I work with my head and the way I work with my body. Is my body in control, or is something else in control of my body? No. Am I the director? Yeah, that was off the thing. So it's like an absolutely extended Mahashivratri energy, because we've got the sun being covered, so we'll have this darkness. The nodes are very active. The energy is pulled upward again, just like in over Mahashivratri, and it mirrors Shiva sitting in stillness while cosmic forces churn. You know, the churning of the oceans. Just keep still. You know, don't get into the churn. Don't look don't look down. You know, if you're walking too hard, don't look down too much. The tandavs happens when compression reaches its threshold. It's like push, and it's not easy time for most people. It's like we gallop. It's all very strange, eh? Yeah. It is. It's very eerie at the eclipse, but quite magnificent as well. So I just like, as I said, it's an interesting thing that it is happening. It's both on Ash Wednesday. It's Ash Wednesday, beginning of Lent, which is part of that temptation of Jesus. That's what it signifies a little bit. His 40 days in the desert. And take that with a lot of love and beauty, and it's a whole Christ consciousness. I mean, that is Shiva is cosmic energy. He's not a being. He's not a body. I'm not going to go into that right now. But Shiva, yeah, he's energy. people put a form to him, but he's just energy. So we will be feeling this huge thresholds, and thresholds have been doorways and portals and openings and crazy things. But at the same time, I like to just remember for me that if we work carefully with the fire of the fire horse, because it's in the space of water on the trigrams, on the octagon, on the bagua, that we can make steam, and steam is like what's always changed. It's the steam age was huge, changed the face of the world. But yeah, we could have changed so many times over and over and over again. It's just like, please don't. It's so depressing if you want to get into that. So even during that eclipse time, just also do the same things that we were doing on Mahashivratri. Eat lightly, stay upright, don't be impulsive, don't make great decisions. Some people don't go outside at all. Light a lamp, light a candle, so that you bring in the fire into your life, because the sun has gone dark. I mean, without the sun, it's not going to work on this planet, you know. It's raw. Sun worshippers. That's all the cultures are about, worshipping. Gratitude, big time for the sun. Because without the sun, you've got to do way too much planning and eat rotten fish. You ask the people up in Sweden, and you know, it's not fun. Okay, so yeah. Sorry, it was the 17th. Am I right? Yeah, 17th, 15th, 17th. It's the Ring of Fire. It's also it's not a big. I mean, it's every year we have the eclipse. We have the lunar and we have the solar eclipse every single year, but they just happen to all be falling onto the same time. And then I wanted to just see here what in classical. Okay, it's the year of the fire horse, the Bing Wu, because then we have those planets coming into alignment. That's 6 planets, and that is on the 28th of February. It's also weird. I mean, February is such a weird little month. You know, it's got these funny days in our Gregorian side here. So those are all coming around into alignment. Okay. The solar eclipse is seen as the heavenly dragon devouring the sun. It signaled a disruption between heaven and the earthly order. Emperors took eclipses very, very seriously. They were considered omens requiring moral correction or humility. But some important nuances. The cosmic balance is shifting. The yin and yang were undergoing recalibration, and heaven was signaling adjustment. So we know this. It's the planets are, it's just another language to read, you know, what's happening. So it has to happen. And the fire horse is one of the most powerful combinations in the 60-year cycle. The horse is yang fire by nature, its movement and speed and charisma, and it's a heavenly stem of yang fire. So it's double fire. So it's lots of acceleration, passion, sudden shifts, visibility, bold action, political and social volatility. So with the lunar eclipse being the lunar new year with a solar eclipse, it's like such big yin yang stuff, hey? So we're really resetting the chi of the planet and of ourselves, yeah. So sometimes we feel like nothing's happening in our life, you know. It's just that we're doing another reset, and we might feel it very strongly here. Just keep your feet on the ground, drink water, you know, the usual stuff. We've got lots of little tools, and just don't get sucked into too much crap out there, please, guys. It's like beyond crazy. So, oops. So back to that, if you feel, we'll go into the Chinese New Year a little more later on. We've been here for a while. I've missed you guys. Thank you very much for letting me get back on my horse. Where am I? Where am I? Do I know where I am? Okay, so we've got this, and everybody's talking about convergence and blah blah blah, and there's so many beautiful peace things. Oh, there was also the monks that finished their peace walk, which was really beautiful. So anybody know of anything else that's coming up in the very near future? This month, in the next couple of days, what have I missed? Okay, so well, the new year. So with this eclipse, it is just doubly amplifying, doubly the reset of the year, and doubly the fire energy of the fire horse. Doubly. We got lots of doublies going on at the moment. And just my daughter, even she used, we used to have those old phones, and when you give your phone number, I don't know if you do it in America, it's 0823339 33. So she would think that double was a number. She's doing double. So we got doubles. So the new year, it never arrives quietly. They like to they do the dragon dances, but the whole thing is that you hang, what is it? Well, you put it's firecrackers outside your shops, okay, or your homes, and it's all got like a little envelope with a red envelope with money, and the dragon will come along with the dragon dance, and it will take the money, and it will set the fireworks alight. So what the thing is that it's actually like Tandev, the drum beat. It's actually chasing away all the bad elementals. So the bigger the bang, the louder the fireworks, the more fabulous and exciting and better good luck you're going to have for next year. And they go, in South Africa, they are insane. We don't have rules and regulations. They hold these huge big cannons in their hands, and the fire, it's insane, absolutely madness. You can't see, you can't breathe. It's quite fabulous, actually. So we are resetting our energy, not just ours, but the energy of the planet, and doubly, the rebirth of the annual energy field. So we've slithered out of our skin, ready or not, here I come. It's a new elemental current. So yes, it's very big fire, but it's also water. When an eclipse occurs at the threshold, it amplifies the reset. So, yeah, so it doesn't arrive quietly. Old light is briefly obscured before the new cycle fully ignites. So you can choose your old path, or you can choose your new path. The choice is up to you. Fire emerges through shadow. So it's pretty, God is so kind, whatever you want to call it, is so really wants us. It's amazing how much pushing and pulling there is of pulling us over the threshold. I'm not going to go into the 5 elements right now. But it's kind of weird because it's like it's almost going to be like a false start, you know, where you've got this double horse going, and then you have this interruption of the light. So however that plays out in your world, and obviously our hearts are being tested a lot, because remember, fire also governs our heart, our blood system. So we can expect obviously sudden global shifts, leadership, visibility issues, emotional intensity, fast moving events. Do a lot of water work, a lot of bathing, a lot of bathing, a lot of swimming when the time comes. I was washing my hands in snow today. It was quite wonderful. But there's going to be obviously just so much amazing galloping stuff that you'd think would take like 10 years in the making is going to be happening in a couple of days. Obviously, a radical awakening, a rapid karmic acceleration, breakthrough innovation. So, yeah, sooner you just follow that road, guys. So how traditional scholar might frame it, like as in Confucius: observe carefully, do not rush. The year begins under a sign of recalibration. So it would call for moderation of ego, strengthening of your virtues, stability of the heart on all levels, and careful governance. A lot of people will go to sleep after that night. They don't stay awake. They go to sleep. Just enjoy that good night's sleep after an eclipse. Okay. So get that sleep rest, because the fire horse here is not going to be a sleepy year. So if this eclipse is at the doorway, it means that whatever serpent is going to shed very quickly, whatever's happening right now, because we've got that space of darkness, and it's going. So just know if something happens in your life, and it will come, like, you can prepare and look after all sorts of things, and it will come like quite in a way that you might not understand. Yeah, lots of purging. Yeah, watch what you're eating, and but it's time to just beautifully embrace and just purge, and just say, okay, I want this over. I want this over. I want this over. It's time to walk now. Yeah, for all of us as a collective, and especially for those that have been on the path a little while longer. It's for us to really move forward, and a lot of people are taking time out. They're closing up shop for a couple. They say they don't know how long, a couple of days, a couple of weeks, a couple of months. But it's almost like all the stuff that we've been. Well, for me as well, it's like I don't really care about any of this crap out there, or anything more that I'm like. I just want to work with the energy of my spine and move into another dimension, into another. Oh, beautiful, lovely. Oh, beautiful, Grace. Absolutely, yeah. I think the elementals are talking to us hugely, hugely. Yeah. And I know you've also going through, but that's and it's like I don't know what to do with this dichotomy of feelings. It's like crazy. It's like I'm walking, and it was a very hard walk for me today. But then at the same time, I just look, and it's like overwhelmed with just so much beauty. Yeah, and it's like this is Yuki's spot. Oh God! Then overwhelmed again with so much beauty. So yeah, definitely connecting a lot with the fairy realm right now. So I did have these cards. Let's leave us with an ascension card, which I forgot to start with. And happy celebrations, guys. Whichever one you're celebrating, I just felt that I needed to jump in and let us know. Do we want to know? I don't know. Do we want to know? So these are some beautiful ascension cards that were given to me. Let's just, we should have one every day, but I will try not to be so, I'm not sure what I need to do. You know, my life has changed quite radically again. So I'm not asking for any specific, just to get us through, not for the new year or anything, just for our collective. What is the energy that we can work with? Paul the Venetian. The great master Paul is Kohan of the third ray. He lifts people's spirits and sets their souls free to create beauty and inspiration through music and art, and also in practical ways. This card encourages you to communicate your essence by writing, painting, or in any heartfelt manner. Call on, well, that's what my first was, just creativity. Call on Master Paul to help you express your visions, and he will co-create them with you. These visions will hold such light that people will be touched by them, thereby accelerating the plan for growth. Paul carries the flame of liberty and is helping to set you free. That is just so awesome. Do you remember a while ago that there was this great freedom of liberty, Statue of Liberty? I express myself creatively and harmoniously. That's it. This, yeah, create, do something really beautiful. Draw, paint, cook. Part of what I'm doing is just like I'm just pushing myself to do it, and I'm like scattered all over the place, but it's okay. I am just changing my whole house around because I've just like everything's moving around a little bit, which is about time. Clearing out cupboards, just little bits everywhere. So that's part of my creativity and purging and clearing at the moment. I don't understand the book. Oops. I'll have to go through this. Okay, my beautiful loves. Yeah, creativity. So leave us with creativity. Write, doodle, get the pen and paper going, one way or another. Yeah. And take it easy, but take it. So, love you all so much, and thank you so much for all your love and your care and your wishes and your energy. I have felt and been held with by many. Thank you, and thank you so much for being here. I'm really mightily touched. So I hope it's like opened a little portal for you guys. A little overwhelming, but you know it's me. It's going to be a little overwhelming. So love, and yeah, maybe we'll get PG on. He can tell us about his snow dreams. So please take care. Namaste. Love you all so much, and keep your feet on the ground, your head in the clouds, and drink, especially in this fire horse here, even more water. Love. Bye, 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 bye.